group of novice adventurers do their best to survive in the dark and ruthless world of Grimgar. Find themselves in the cruel and unforgiving world of Grimgar, a group of adventurers do everything in their being to stay alive. Treacherous terrains, flesh-eating beasts, and the fear of looming death over their heads is what they must face if they are to make something of their lives. How will they survive this world of ashes and illusions? Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be recapping the modern action-adventure isekai series, HAYASHI Gensou no Grimgar. Adapted in 2016, this show will keep you anxious with its teeth-grinding survival elements and rekindle your love for the isekai genre. With its cast of ragtag adventurers who find themselves stuck inside a video game, the show captures the beauty of its dark and unforgiving world. So, without any further delay, let's begin the story. The story begins with a group of adventurers trying to fend off against a small group of goblins. Goblins are naturally weak creatures, but the team shows difficulty in their battle against them. One of the members, Haruhiro, exclaims that fighting more than one goblin is too much for them at this point. We cut to the next morning, where the party members wake up, each fulfilling his daily chores. The group's leader, Minato, enters to see how Haruhiro and the other party members, Ranta, Mugozo, Yumi, and Shihoru, are doing. As they all get together to eat, Haruhiro thinks back to the day in which he first woke in this strange world of Grimgar. He heard a voice in his ear that said, "Awaken." As Haruhiro opened his eyes, he found himself in a strange place, with others also present and confused just like him. No one knew where they were. Soon after, they somehow made their way to a man named Brittany, the head of the Volunteer Soldier Squad's Red Moon office, in hopes of getting some information. RENJI, another person who awakened alongside Haruhiro, gets in trouble with Brittany and decides to leave on his own, taking some of the strongest members with him. Everyone who's left, including Haruhiro, forms a group of their own. But since they're weak, Minato proposes that they all join separate guilds in order to master different useful skills. Haruhiro joins the Thief Guild, where he comes across Barber, his instructor. Sometime later, the gang reassembles, telling stories of the time in their respective guilds. Now to make a living, the party embarks on a goblin hunt, but all the goblins they come across are in packs. They still can't beat more than one goblin. Days pass by, hunger looming over their heads, when they finally manage to spot a lone goblin by the river. Together they manage to subdue the goblin, not before Haruhiro takes a slash to his arm. They sell the goblin and spend the remainder of the day shopping and eating. The group is growing at a steady pace. Haruhiro and the rest become more accustomed to the world of Grimgar as they grow stronger with each kill. They begin working as a team and start trusting each other more and more. As a result of their struggles, they are now able to buy new clothing and eat better food. And sinking into this easy life, Ranta gives into his desires and tries to peep at the girls, taking the rest of the boys with him. This obviously goes bad, resulting in a well-deserved smack on Ranta's face. The team takes on 3 goblins this time, using their respective techniques. The gang successfully subdues all 3 quite easily. Minato, the party leader, compliments each of the gang for their great efforts and bravery. Haruhiro, who happens to be on the lookout, observes a goblin aiming at Minato. To save him, Haruhiro shoves Minato out of the way, taking the arrow to himself. The crew faces an all-out assault from the goblins, while Minato tries to heal Haruhiro. They make an effort to escape, but Minato gets shot with an arrow and is heavily wounded. They somehow get to the Priest Guild, seeking medical assistance for Minato, but to no avail. He has passed away. After Minato's passing, the team is in utter disarray. As they say their final goodbyes to his funeral, Ranta gets in a disagreement with Yumi, resulting in yet another slap. Ranta leaves in anger and ends up in a tavern to escape his anxiety. Haru and Mugozu head after him, and the 3 argue at the tavern, discussing Minato's death. Overhearing this, another party's bet approaches the trip, offering condolences for the loss of their priest. The guy suggests that they recruit a new priest and introduce them to Mary. Mary doesn't get along well with the group, and the following day, during a mission, she deviates from their strategy and refuses to heal anyone. When they get back, Haruhiro meets Yumi and apologizes for not asking her approval before enlisting Mary. Yumi claims that she believed them to be friends, but their lack of communication has left her to feel otherwise. Two begin sobbing as they acknowledge the emptiness Minato's passing has left within them. After sobbing, they have a heart-to-heart, while Haruhiro holds Yumi as they both lay on the ground. Haruhiro and Yumi agree that they need to make Mary more comfortable around them, so that she may accept the party members. Haruhiro convinces the rest to be more nice to Mary, but this leads to a disagreement with the others who clearly don't want to accept her. Haruhiro tries to talk to Mary, but to no avail. That day at the tavern, the gang witnessed Mary talking to a guild member. They decide to approach the guild member to get some info on Mary. The guy, HAYASHI, reveals that the reason behind her attitude is because her friends died too. She blames herself for their deaths, because she ran out of healing mana when her party was on the brink of death. This is why she refuses to heal their small injuries, and hopes that her healing will be more useful in extreme situations. Mary is still bent on not opening up, is ready to be kicked out. Instead, Haru has a little heart-to-heart with her, explaining their relation with one another and the tragedy of Minato's death. This finally manages to touch Mary's heart and she begins to accept the party. Slowly. Once more, the gang sets out to hunt goblins. When spotting one, Haru notices the dagger which he lost the day Minato died and almost loses control. So Yumi brings him to his senses and they follow the goblin to its hideout, successfully wiping it out. This gives them enough funds to buy small equipment. As time passes, the party members develop as adventurers and head on further adventures. They make a pact to not let any other members perish. Now that everyone gained new skills, the group has significantly increased in strength. They all decide to go after the goblin pack who ambushed them that day and killed Minato. Despite the difficulty of the battle, they ultimately prevail. The gang makes enough money to purchase their volunteer military badges. They also acquire one badge from Minato, their former leader, and place it at his tomb. It has been some time since they hunted something other than goblins. Haruhiro suggests that they relocate their hunting grounds to a location known as Serene Caves. Keeping in mind that their current hunting areas were becoming too risky due to an increase in goblin activity. The surprise is Mary, as Serene Caves is where her former party met their demise. This renders Mary scared, but Haru is close behind and encourages her to face her fears. To prepare for this new hunting field, Haru once again visits his guild to train with Barbara. They all leave for Serene Caves the following day. A couple of kobolds attack them, but the prepared party manages to best them. They turn out to be more challenging adversaries than goblins. Haruhiro is unsure about his capacity to serve as the gang's leader. Ranta, similarly, disobeys Haruhiro's orders and charges headlong into combat. Ranta's hasty action during the battle with a kobold nearly results in Haruhiro's death. Making way through the caves, they finally arrive at the kobold's farm, where a death spot, the strongest kobold, rests. As they are about to enter, Ranta unintentionally sets off an alarm, alerting everyone of their presence. Mary is rendered helpless at the sight of Deathspot, witnessing a flashback of Deathspot murdering the members of her prior party. She regains consciousness at Haru's voice, leading the group to some ruins so that they may rest and formulate a strategy. The group's time of relaxation is abruptly interrupted when three mysterious figures approach them. It is revealed that the three figures are none other than Mary's three deceased former party members, reincarnated due to a curse. It takes a moment for Mary to gather her thoughts. Haru, Mogozu, and Ranta get a hold of the three undead, while Mary conjures a spell to put her comrades to rest. Now finally out of danger, or so it seems, as Deathspot busts inside, calling for others. Everyone tries to hightail it out, but at the last moment, the ledge below Ranta's feet collapses and he's left behind. Ranta succeeds in escaping the Deathspot clutches and finds safe haven on an upper level. While he is hiding, he accidentally sends off a loud alarm, alerting everyone of his location. Luckily, the gang too is at hearing distance and makes way for Ranta. They attempt to depart the cave, but Deathspot barricades all entrances, forcing them to engage in lethal combat. As a last resort, Haruhiro chooses to battle Deathspot alone and gives his life to save the others. He is committed to fighting until the very end. In a dramatic change of events, a green light appears and guides Haru's blade into the Deathspot's eye, resulting in an astonishing win. Haru then collapses and wakes up beside Mary. The gang gathers and congratulates Haru on yet another victory. Everyone is ecstatic and wonders what they would do with the huge reward they received for slaying Deathspot. We'll end this recap at this crossroad, where the party has yet to set out on an even bigger adventure. The story revolves around Haruhiro and his companions, who all end up in the stranger and deadly world of Grimgar. Together they manage to fend off against many strong foes, though lose one great leader to the enemy. Nonetheless, the adventure continues, and with each other's help, they best even stronger foes, collect rewards, and enjoy life as it is.